You'll shoot your eye out, kid. Merry Christmas. Ho, ho, ho.
I love it. Welcome back. That was, of course, a clip from the eternal classic, A Christmas Story, which is celebrating its 40th anniversary. How is that possible? Because I'm only like 25. 25. And who better to talk to us all about some of the greatest holiday movies than Ralphie himself. Please welcome to the show, Peter Billingsley.
Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for
so good to see you. Absolutely. Peter, A Christmas Story is 40 this year. Why do you think, just personally, I know, this has been the holiday movie for 4 decades now. What is it?
Yeah. Well, the biggest thing I hear most from fans is that's my family. I think people really feel like they see so much of themselves in those characters. The mom and dad, the relationship with the brother. And it's, it wasn't the perfect family. There's bumps and bruises along the way, but it really ends in that place, I think, especially on Christmas morning, that we all kind of want to have for our own family Christmas. So it's just feels very real.
Yeah.
Ooh, that part.
I don't know why. I've seen this movie so many times. I still can't get past the tongue being stuck on the pole.
Don't do it. It really works.
That's my reaction, Lord. Well, your podcast, A Cinematic Christmas Journey, is all about the greatest Christmas movies of all time. So what is the most fascinating piece of trivia that you've uncovered from cast and crew?
Well, we love deep diving into the Christmas classics. And what's nice about the podcast, it's a longer format, so you can get a lot of stories out of people. Beverly D'Angelo, who plays Ellen Griswold in Christmas Vacation, told us that when Chevy did his famous rant, that no good, it's a lot of lines, and that's kind of hard. So all the actors standing in front of him had cue cards on their chest.
What?
So he could just go from one to one to one, so we didn't have to think about the lines.
Wow.
And then we had, so you get things like that in this format because it's a little longer, they're more relaxed. And then after she told that story, she said, I've never told that story before. So it just kind of dawns on them. And then we had Jan de Bont, the cinematographer of Die Hard, on.
Yes.
He couldn't believe that it was a Christmas movie. And so I said, can I please try to change your mind? And he said, okay, go ahead. And I'm not going to give it away. You can listen to it, but I'm pretty convincing when I think something is a Christmas movie.
Tori's always said that.
I always said Die Hard
It is, right?
Yeah, but now I have to listen to this podcast.
I know. I like all this, and like with Beverly D'Angelo, I love her. Okay, so you've been best friends with Vince Vaughn for most of your career, and he's a producer on your podcast. We have a clip from an after-school special you guys made together called The Fourth Man. Okay, how did you both become friends on the set of this movie?
We met on that. So he had just moved out from Chicago. You can see we're both quite a bit younger. I'm roid raging in that moment, I think. He's trying to calm me down. We had met. I had been acting, obviously, since I was a kid, but I was starting to transition behind the scenes. And we got this part. And, you take all your parts. You want to do great, right? And so we said, well, since we're playing friends, let's spend some time off set. So we hung out and we got to know each other, and it really formed a friendship that's lasted until now. Wow. He's the greatest guy. It was, very clear with him then, not a question of if he'll be successful, but when. Wow. Just a really talented, grounded, awesome guy. And then we've had the good fortune to work with each other a lot as well. So you never know. That's the cool thing about these projects. You meet different people, but it was fun to come up with him as well.
That's great. First of all, I remember that movie. So
I do too.
Yeah,
me too.
Yeah, they were powerful, right? These moments after school, they would give us life lessons.
People forget those were like a big deal when
Helen
they were like,
jumping out the window.
Dude, after school specials always instilled fear in me. Oh, I better not do that.
Yes.
I better not try that.
I remember learning about steroids.
Well.
They did.
Yes. Well, let's get into this. Now, I'm not going to put you on the spot. I'm not going to make you the guy that wears the band T-shirt to the concert. So you have to remove your podcast from this. But, your movie from this. But what do you think the greatest Christmas movie ever made was?
Oh man, it's so hard, right? Because there's so many and they're so good. And it is funny, if you look at the iTunes charts, they'll all shoot up to the top around this time of year. They're really timeless. It's a Wonderful Life for me is one that I like to watch a lot. Yes, it might be black and white. It's going to get to 100 years where it's still relevant. But you look back at a movie like that and the things that they're talking about, the themes are just timeless. And I like Christmas Vacation a lot as well because it's just really fun.
It holds
but
up.
everyone has their favorites, which is what I like. But I like to go through them all and rewatching a lot of the Rankin Bass stuff. So Rudolph and just those kind of great old shorter film classics.
I do have a little issue with
Rudolph. He has a thing.
We were going back. I want to get your opinion really quickly. We've got more questions, but I feel like Rudolph, it kind of pushes the wrong narrative because Rudolph is ostracized because his nose is different, and he's sent to an island away from the group. But then because they failed to plan for the storm, they had to go get this guy that they dissed because they were panicking, and Rudolph then had to help them. Rudolph, that's my issue.
Fair, but but I would say, doesn't it land in the theme of Christmas? Forgiveness, love. They made some mistakes. You're right. They should not have cast Rudolph out. That was wrong. But they saw the error of their ways. He's together, and it gives that, forgiveness, hope, and love that we all want to go for.
But Peter,
did they? I'm making the case for Rudolph now.
Or did they use him?
I think he might have
maybe Rudolph comes back with some swag now, and he's just now you guys see.
He got his girlfriend in the end. He's back with his family. Things work out for everyone.
Yeah. Oh, all right. I think that's a good little end to the debate.
Shout out to Rudolph.
Shout out to Rudolph. Thank you so much for joining us today, Peter.
Thank you guys for having me. This was lots of fun.
Oh, what an honor. Listen to Peter go through the greatest Christmas movies of all time, episode by episode on the podcast, A Cinematic Christmas Journey, streaming now on Spotify. Thank you again. Merry Christmas.
Appreciate it. Merry Christmas to you all as well.